Parshas Bo, this is the parsha where it happens. The drama. Klal Yisrael leaves Mitzrayim. That night of Yetzias Mitzrayim, it's the night of Makas Bechoros. That was the night of the Korban Pesach. The Korban's a sacrifice. Service. What did they do with their Korban Pesach? Roasted it and ate it. Put some blood on the doorposts. Question, what was that? Is that in place of what they did in the Beis HaMikdash? Instead of the Mizbeach, they had no altars, it was a door. The Pasuk simply says it was a sign. If you have this on your doorpost, Hashem will pass over it. Hence the name Pesach, Passover. A peculiar sacrifice. A sacrifice is an offering. Sometimes the entire animal was burnt on the altar. At times, only the best of it. But what kind of sacrifice is this? What do you do with it? You eat it. You eat it. And this is what's going to make the difference. This is going to merit our coming out of Mitzrayim. Chazal tell us, the pasuk, the metaphor that Yecheskel Hanavi uses in describing the birth of the Jewish nation. At Erom ve'eryah. You have no mitzvahs. Like the angels said before Kriyas Yamsuf, Halalu of the Avodah Zarah, Halalu of the Avodah Zarah. Jews had picked up the pagan culture of the Egyptians. All they kept was their clothing, their names, their language. But they had adapted the culture of Egypt, the pagan culture. We needed a schus, we needed something to merit our coming out of Egypt. The Pesach sacrifice. Have roast lamb for dinner. Where's the offering? Where's the offering? What are they doing? There's several explanations. I want to focus on one. The Korban Pesach that was brought by the Jews all the generations after. And the pasuk, they were given the mitzvah there in Egypt. And in future generations you'll do the same. That is celebrating, commemorating our Yetzias Mitzrayim. Because all the generations later, it happened already. The Korban Pesach was eaten, celebrating our freedom from Egypt before we were set free. It was before we were set free. What was this? The festive meal, celebrating our freedom before we were set free. This is the offering of emunah, of bitachon. Moshe Rabbeinu tells us this is what's going to happen, and we're ready to celebrate. This is a service to Hashem. In being so sure that the word of Hashem is going to happen, that we're ready to celebrate it. And there, they have to be all dressed up for the journey. Celebrating and ready to leave. Because we know it's happening. That's the service. That's the service. What we're offering Him is our trust. So real. You know, it's not the thanking you in advance as a way of saying, I really want you to deliver. This is really commemorating. Commemorating something that's going to happen because we are so sure it's going to happen as if it happened already. No question about it. This was our very first mitzvah. As a nation, this was the first thing that we were commanded. The first is indicative of everything. And that is to live with a clarity of Hashem running the world, a clarity of nevuah, a clarity of nevuahs Moshe. If Moshe Rabbeinu says something, you trust it, you know it's real. Yetzias Mitzrayim is history. There's so much that we live with today that is not yet history. The Torah tells us what it's going to be like if we follow in Hashem's ways, and what it's going to be like if we don't. Hashem lets us know. Trust me. What's the good life? In this world and the world to come. Trust me, what is it? The pasuk is very clear. We're given a choice. Es ha'chaim v'es ha'tov. Es ha'moves v'es ha'ra. What's good? What Hashem says is good. That's life. It's life-giving. It's life itself. Evil may be tempting, but it's death. It's emptiness. It's going nowhere. It's self-destructing. That's something we have to trust Him on. Emunah. Knowing this is so real. Knowing that every word of Hashem is real. Everything He's describing is real. This is the essence of our service to Hashem. Sacrifices, giving things up for Him, they're nice too. The essence of service is that you trust that what He teaches us is emes. That you're confident it's emes. That you've seen enough of Hashem to know that it's real. We learn a lot of things. And, as observant Jews, we do things. And we feel that we make sacrifices. For Hashem, make a sacrifice. I'm giving up the good life. Could have been rich. Could have had a great time. Life could have been so much fun. But I believe in Hashem, and I'm afraid of getting hit. So I make sacrifices. That's not enough. He doesn't want sacrifices. He wants us to take Him seriously. Taking Him seriously means that when He tells us, Es hachayim es hatov, that a Torah lifestyle, that is good. That is good in this world and the world to come. That there's nothing like it. That everything you're giving up is emptiness. To take Him seriously. To not have to wait for us to make the mistake and learn from our own experiences. The essence of what Hashem is asking for is not sacrifices. The essence of what Hashem is asking for is that you take Him seriously. It's no secret. There are many Jews. There are many Jews, even today. There are many Jews who know that authentic Judaism means fulfillment of 613 commandments. But they say it's just not livable. It's not livable. A generation ago, it was a lot more than that. And that attitude made way for the total destruction of Judaism in so many parts of the world. I remember a particular experience going back quite a few years. There was an organization that was once operating here called the American Pe'ilim. And they set up what they called a mifgash, a get-together, of kids from a Shomer HaTzair kibbutz, extreme left, with a bunch of yeshiva guys. They made sure that we were the same age. So, we didn't know what it is. They're going to ask us things. We were young. It's going to be challenging. Who knows? So we started out with the traditional, I guess, orthodox side in the debate when it comes to Israelis, which is, how could it be that your claim to this land is based on a book that you don't believe in? How can you say our right to the land is based on the Bible when you don't believe it? So they laughed. And they said, we know our lifestyle better than you. That is not the greatest contradiction we have to live with. And they start telling us, what are the festivals? What are the Chagim? What, just Yom Ha'atzmaut? What are the festivals? We celebrate Pesach, we celebrate Shavuos. They told us that they bring Bikurim, they bring the first fruits on Shavuos. And we ask ourselves, whom are we bringing them to? We recognize that our whole culture is based on the Torah we've abandoned. We know that. We know that what you're doing is true. But we're 18 years old. We're supposed to be monks at 18? What kind of lifestyle are you offering us? But we're not prepared to live that way. This is what the kids said. And we were floored. We were totally unprepared for dealing with that. What's the answer? The answer is that this is the point they've all missed. Hashem is not asking for sacrifices. Take Him seriously. He tells you this is the good life. Try it. No, He doesn't tell you that it's a lot of fun. But who said your premise is right? Who says that the good life is all about fun? The good life is all about growing and being honest, being wise, where your life makes sense, where you know what you're getting up for in the morning, where you know who created you and why. What Hashem is asking for is that you trust Him. That when He says that this is life-giving, He knows what He's talking about. That's what He asks for. This was our first mitzvah. This was it. Hashem says we're leaving Egypt that night. We are celebrating our freedom from Egypt. All dressed up for the journey. Because we know it's as good as done. Hashem said so. The message to the people out there. It's not a matter of debating them over what's true and what isn't true. In fact, today, I don't think anyone cares. It's the quality of life that we have to offer. Everyone knows it. If you just sit them down and ask them, what feels better? Amassing wealth or helping others? What feels better? The way we do chesed. What every observant community looks like. Torah tchilasa chesed, sofa chesed, everything is chesed. Gemachim for everything you could think of and more. The way people care about one another. Get involved in one another's problems. Care. We're interested in hearing. It's a cold, lonely world out there. And living wisely and learning Hashem's wisdom. We've got the good life. Let's appreciate it. And let everyone else know the secret. It's not Hashem, the all-powerful, who's telling you, listen to me or else. It's the Hashem asking that we trust Him. That we trust Him when He says, this is the good life. And it is. So let go. Let go. Enjoy. Enjoy our wonderful way of life. Enjoy it, share it. Bring the good word to the rest of Klal Yisrael. There's nothing like serving Hashem. There's nothing like living the life of an observant Jew. The whole package. The Avos Hashem, the Avos Yisrael, the Talmud Torah, Kiyum HaMitzvahs, everything, the family, everything. There's nothing like it. Feel it. Get so excited that you want to go out there and tell the whole world. And don't deprive them of the good life Hashem has given us.